when I say I'm going to go outside and play, it doesn't mean the same thing as it meant when I was 6. Today, it's a bit different. Choosing an area to head out and explore will always bring a thrill to me. Not knowing what's going to be around the next corner, dealing with the ups of the day and the downs. But when I get to get out and immerse myself in ruggedly beautiful terrain like this, to me, there is absolutely nothing better. When I am in this place, I feel as free as I could ever be. Welcome back, Bucking Lifers. I'm AJ. Today, we're running a trail called Road to Nowhere, and it's also known locally as Black Canyon City Overlook. It's an absolute gorgeous day today. I know it's going to warm up later and become hotter, but right now it's absolutely perfect. Now, this run is an out and back. From what I've read of it, it's rocky and a little slow going in a lot of areas, so I'm guessing it's probably going to take us about 3 hours each way. So let's get this run started. Should be a great one. Now, this is another run that's right in my backyard. Again, this is one that starts in the Table Mesa Recreation Area, and I always appreciate how I have these trails so close to my home. Pretty much starts right underneath the overpass for I-17. So we're just going to cross underneath here. This is where the trail basically begins. Now today for my virtual guide, I'm using Onyx. Onyx has this route as a featured trail. Trails Off-Road only has it as a scout route, so you cannot use the follow me feature if you want to use Trails Off-Road. But you can still follow the dotted path within Trails Off-Road. It just won't show you any information on any waypoints or anything like that. Now, once you get out from under the overpass, you're still going to be on Moores Gulch Road, but you're going to crisscross in and out of the wash a few times. This obviously is one of the areas where it's pretty rocky. So far, I've come across 4 barbed wire gates that you have to pass through, and they've all been underneath the overpass of I-17. This is the northbound side of I-17. The one we previously went under was the southbound side. Now, this run is nestled fully on the west side of the New River Mountains, so you're going to catch some great views of those New River Mountains on this trail. The New River Mountains are a small 14-mile-long mountain range here in central Arizona and on the north border of the Phoenix Valley. The range is located on the southwest perimeter of the Arizona Transition Zone. It is a subpart of landforms extending south from the Black Hills of Yavapai County, rivers and canyons border east and west, and the south part of the range is located here in Maricopa County. The highest point of the New River Mountain Range is Squaw Mountain with an elevation of 5,905 feet. So at this point, we're starting to ascend a little bit. The trail has been, as I was told or read that it was, is pretty rocky, pretty choppy, get some washed out areas, nothing too difficult at all, but I can definitely see why some of the reviews on this trail said that it's a little slow going, but that's okay, that's all part of the fun. was trying to get some cool low to the ground sweeping shots with my drone and I smacked it into the side of the hill. That's okay, the drone's fine. I just replaced one of the propellers. One of the propellers was cracked, so yeah, it happens. That is also one of the risks you take when you're flying a drone and driving at the same time. So I came to what I'm gonna call a vista point. It's more like a just a small pullout. It's not on the top of the mountain or anything, but you can see why I wanted to stop and pull over. Beautiful views of the New River Mountains. It's nice and breezy today, so it's keeping the heat down. I mean, it's not overly hot yet, but you know, still it's got a good breeze going on, so it's nice. On that side of the New River Mountains, over this side, way off in the distance, you can see Black Canyon City, and beyond that are the Bradshaw Mountains. Can't complain about the views so far. We've come up to another cattle gate. Please close gate. So according to Onyx, I've gone just over 7 miles, which is just a slight hair over halfway. So we're making pretty good time. It's only 10:30. It's not as slow going as I thought it was gonna be. You know, that's always a bonus. As I was working my way up to the top of the mesa, the more elevation I gained, the more rugged the mountainsides became. This area was prominent with protruding geoformations and scattered boulders on the mountainsides. Each and every time I travel out to these wondrous places, I continually find myself in awe how all this was formed so many millions of years ago. You know, whether you're looking at a big night sky or traveling along land that's as vast as this, it makes me remember just how small we really are. This particular section of trail I was really enjoying a lot. It was narrow, some of it was a little bit off camber, and there were a few washouts. On top of that, it was kind of like a mini shelf road. Now, for some reason, this trail is rated as moderate, but I haven't seen anything moderate about it as of yet. For anybody with any kind of off-roading experience, this is an easy run. Now, if you're brand new to off-roading and riding rocky trails, it might be moderate to them. There's some pretty decent ascends and descends, but you know, other than that, there hasn't been any obstacle yet. But we're not there yet to the end, so we'll see what comes up ahead of us.
Here's a nice little semi-steep rocky section that we have to traverse. Nothing to it. You know, it's funny about areas like that, they always look worse than they actually are, but they're always fun. That little area right there was only about a 20% incline, but you're still looking at the sky pretty much. So I guess for a novice off-roader, those two little sections back there probably could be considered moderate. But you know, trail ratings, they're all subjective to experience. The last 3/4 of the trail has definitely become the rockiest part. I mean, it is extremely rocky, very, very slow going. So now I understand why the descriptions have said that it's, you know, as rocky as it is. Now, it's not like that in every single area of the trail, but I've noticed a lot more areas that have become all rocks. This has been a fun trail so far. Looks like I'm going to be nearing the end of it soon, so we'll see what those views have to offer us at the end. Alright, well, I've made it to the end of the Black Canyon City Overlook, aka Road to Nowhere. Boy, is it windy up here. Let me tell you, I had trouble keeping my hat on, and my drone had a lot of trouble fighting the wind. I'm gonna head back out to this little rocky area, or Vista Point, so I can get you some views. Down there is Black Canyon City. Definitely some nice views out this way. I'm gonna try to traverse this and make sure I don't get bitten by any rattlesnakes. Don't want that. Not too bad at all. Now, were the views a good enough payoff for the trek out here? I'd say so. Will I come back out here and do it again? Probably not. Oh, it's windy. Only because out and backs aren't really my favorite thing. Like I said in a previous video, they always seem kind of redundant to me because you have to go back out the same way you came, obviously. But it's definitely a good, nice trek out here to scratch off your list, especially if you're in the North Valley and you want to do something that's close to home. This is definitely a good one. So from the start of the trail, I went 13.8 miles. And it took me 3 hours and 17 minutes to get out here. Well, roughly about 3 hours, because I have been out here filming and flying my drone and stuff. So basically right at about 3 hours. We're at an elevation of 2,880 feet right now on top of this mesa. But yeah, like I said, it was a fun trek out here. One of my subscribers, Frank Aller, thanks for recommending this trek, Frank. I'll dedicate this video to you. It was definitely a fun one. He's been asking me, he asked me a couple times to come out here and do this trail. And that's the reason I'm out here right now. So it was a good one and it's close to home and I'll scratch it off my list. So I'm going to turn myself around and work my way back out. I'm wondering how the views are going to change on the way out versus the way in. You know, but we're going to find out. Should be just as good as they were coming in. So in terms of wildlife that you're going to see on this trek, cattle, of course. I saw an absurdly large amount of roadrunners out this way, and of course a slew of quail, hawks, you know, birds, whatever. But that's pretty much the extent of what I've seen. No rattlesnakes, unfortunately. I was hoping to get one on video a little bit more close up this time, but you know, those are going to be very rare to come across. You can see just how rocky it is on some sections of this last part of Black Canyon Overlook. So if you don't like rocks and bumps, this probably isn't the run for you. So on the way in and on the way out, this little section of trail so far is my favorite. It's very narrow, it's got some off-camber spots to it, a couple little washouts you gotta be wary of, and some nice rocky areas to test your little moderate technical abilities, if you want to call it that. temperatures have stayed pretty decent all day. We've had a good amount of cloud cover to block some of that horrendous sun. I've had my windows open the whole time and just enjoying this scenery. It is beautiful. Just rugged beauty right there. Now I'll get to my least favorite part, the wind. It's just so windy out here. I don't know if it's windy out here all the time or just today, but with the wind comes a lot of dust. A lot of dust. Very dusty trail. So you put those two together, you're gonna have a lot of cleanup you're gonna have to do afterwards. But that's okay, because any type of off-roading, it's all worth it to me. You know, I gotta say, for some reason, I don't know if it's just the way they look or whatever, but the New River Mountains, at least this section, kind of reminds me of the Catalinas down near Tucson. You know, like the mini Catalinas. They look kind of similar to me. I'm not sure why. So as you saw in the beginning of the video, I passed under the interstate twice, the northbound side and the southbound side. There are a bunch of gates there, so in order to bypass that, I think I found another way out that's going to take me down. We're going to end up on the west side of Table Mesa Road, or of I-17 on Table Mesa Road. So I'm going to give that a shot. Looks like, see, so I'm right here. And oh, that flicker sucks. It's not really marked all that well, but you can see it comes all the way down to New River Trail. So we're gonna take that bypass and see what that's like. Hopefully it's fun. Let's go try it out. So this is that bypass. Now we're just gonna make our way up and see how we do. I always love taking these little side shoots because you never know what to expect. I mean, we could run into an impassable part of the trail for all we know. But, you know, I like to try it anyway, so we'll see if we can get through. It is definitely super rocky, but so far so good. These are always fun to do. The unknown is what it's all about. A nice little rocky section right here we're about to do. Let's try this out. Not bad at all, not bad at all. Which way now? Let's see here. It says to, well, we can go either way. Off to the right or straight. Straight looks more fun, so I'm gonna go straight. Wow, would you look at that. Superb beauty. I turn right here. I tried this offshoot because we're gaining some elevation with it. And wow, these views are just awesome. Just awesome. I'm gonna pull up over here in a second and show you. So that's the Cemex plant, I think, off of Table Mesa Road. Way off in the distance is I-17. I hope you can hear me, it's pretty windy up here. Magnificent. You can see down there the trail where I came down, entered into the creek or wash, and then came up this way. I'm glad I took this offshoot. And so I looked on the map, straight ahead goes nowhere. That's a dead end, so we have to take this left turn right here. Glad I checked. Well, in order to avoid those gates, I came this way, but ended up coming across a gate anyway. That's okay. You can see all the signs. Oh, what a beautiful sight. Looks like we got some wild horses. I think they're wild anyway. Let me get closer to them, and I'll get them on video for you. And there are the horses. They're branded, so they're not wild, but they are beautiful. Hey guys. So through that little barbed wire gate by the horses, they were looking at me like they wanted to escape. How you doing, guys? Beautiful. And now we made it out onto Table Mesa Road. So I'm gonna find a spot to air back up around here. Alright, so we're getting aired up, and that's the end of another great run. I want to thank Frank Aller again, one of my subscribers, for recommending it. Definitely a fun trail to do. I didn't get my track on the way back, so if you want the track to it, my Onyx track, I always put it in my description, but it only goes to the end of the mesa there. I didn't track myself on the way back, so unfortunately I can't show you on Onyx that little bypass for the interstate, but you know, if you look really hard you can find it. It's pretty easy. Just let those tires air up, and then I'll be on my way. Oh, look at this. What is it with people losing hats lately? Somebody lost a hat. It's the second hat I found in the last two trail rides. This one and the last one. Of course, the last one, if you watched my previous video, you know it was a Bronco hat. Same one that I have. So we'll give this compressor a little while, but in the meantime, I'm gonna call it an end to a good video. So as usual, thanks again for joining me on Bucking Life, where I live my life one bucking adventure at a time. See you next time, guys.